God cares about us. So God cares about our sexuality. But when we notice when the Bible speaks constructively about sexuality, it is usually to correct abuses, not to control individual expression.
That sounds compassionate, but it's also false. The Bible doesn't just correct abuse, it defines boundaries. This quietly implies something else. As long as nobody gets hurt, anything goes. But that concept is not found in Scripture.
In the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, God condemns the domination act of gang rape.
Yes, that's absolutely condemned, but Scripture never says this is the only problem. What she's doing is reduction, not interpretation.
In Jesus' teaching about sexuality, we see that he defends women by opposing their objectification.
He absolutely does. And then he makes lust itself a sin. That's not loosening sexual ethics, that's tightening them.
When Paul speaks about sexuality, he does limit some individual expressions of it, but they are tied closely to the individual churches he is addressing and the specific problems they are dealing with.
Notice that move? Anything uncomfortable gets labeled local. Anything affirming gets labeled external.
Paul condemns the excesses of certain Roman practices of sexuality, the practice of pederasty or the abuse of young boys.
Pederasty was real, but Paul's language here is much broader than that. What she's doing with the text is limiting it so it won't offend modern culture.
The words that have recently been translated as homosexuality likely refer to acts of abuse against vulnerable people.
These words were debated long before modern English. They describe sexual acts, not just abuse. What she's doing here is reinterpretation, not discovery.
So yes, God cares about our sexuality, and God cares when people are hurt by other people's expressions of sexuality. I think that is the point of prohibitive biblical passages.
No, Scripture doesn't say that God only cares when people get hurt. It says that God cares how people live. Period. If Scripture has to agree with culture to be true, culture is already your authority.